One $7.99 sofa love seat combo is great. Two $7.99 sofa love seat combos, well, that's splendid. What about 16 $7.99 sofa love seat combos? Well, that would have to be splendiferous. Choose your style, contemporary, traditional, or transitional. Choose your color, red, white, blue, or brown. Still only $7.99 each. My 16 $7.99 living rooms, only at My Bob's Discount Furniture. And by discount, we mean smart.
Stop. If you've been hurt in a car accident, don't do anything until you talk to us first.
After my car accident, the insurance company kept calling. So I said stop, and I called Lowry and Associates.
Be careful.
I was careful. I called Lowry and Associates first.
Let's get going on your case right now.
Lowry and Associates won for me $225,000.
I'm Jim with Lowry and Associates. Call us. We win for you.
Call 222-2222. We win for you.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Why does such a pretty girl have such a fiery temper?
Your daughter, we know, is violent and physical. And you want to get up in her face and say, "What are you doing?"
I hate myself so much. But if I kill myself, I know my family would be so hurt. So I just hurt myself. So they wouldn't have to pay for a funeral.
Let's do it.
Show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Yesterday, we met 21-year-old Danielle, whose father says she is a ticking time bomb who will take down anyone who gets in her way. Now, David and Carline say Danielle is so out of control that at just 21, she's already been arrested twice. Once for punching a man she was dating, and the second time for public intoxication just days before Danielle was set to appear right here on the show. David also suspects Danielle is self-medicating with alcohol, marijuana, and other drugs. His suspicions were confirmed when he received a call from one of Danielle's friends who told him where he could find her drugs. Danielle says when she loses control, she rages, says all of her beatings are justified, and admits to driving high and drunk. Here's what happened yesterday.
My daughter Danielle is a ticking time bomb. Hurtful, revengeful, mean, unpredictable.
Get out of my face! Get out!
She gets into this rage. She is in my face.
Don't cuss at me!
We're at the detention facility right now. We're going to pick up Danielle and take her home. What were you arrested for, Danielle?
I was drunk in public.
Do you have any idea what I went through last night?
I tried contacting everybody. I tried
With
contacting with a phone.
You've been dealing with it for so long. What is your theory?
She has a huge heart, but she has anger issues.
Don't yell at me!
When I get mad, I rage. Nobody can recognize me. I can't even recognize myself.
Shut the up!
One time, I was bashing my head in my face with a metal tin so bad, the tin ended up slicing my head open.
Hi, hypocrites.
Take me through the moment when you're pulling your hair. Take me through the moment when you're actually gouging your own eyes.
I've cut my legs. I've burned myself with cigarettes. I've bitten myself.
Does it work in the moment?
Oh, it works. It relieves the pain 100%. Marijuana is something that helps me relax. They want to hear me say I do other drugs, but I don't.
I had suspicions. I went into her room. She keeps her money in this, and that's her cocaine.
That was something that I've had for a while. I kept it in that tin.
When Danielle was about 7 years old, she said, "Mommy, I'm hearing these voices and they're telling me to take pencils and stab my sisters in the eyes." That's where it all started. It's just gotten worse.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Why are you
I am your father.
Why are you in my face?
You think that he gets in your face first.
Oh, most definitely.
What if I'm the one person that maybe sees this differently than the other 9 people that you've seen?
Well, let's hope you can pull that secret wisdom out from somewhere.
You want to know what I think?
Yes, I do.
Do you? I think your behavior is self-destructive. I think it's outrageous. I think it's often criminal. I think it's illegal in so many different ways. I think it's assault. I think it's battery. I think it's drunk driving. I think it's violating drug laws. I think it's reckless. I think it's endangering. I think it's pathological. I think it is so many things that are absolutely outrageous, out of control, and over the top, and it absolutely has to stop. I think it's completely outrageous and out of control. And I don't ask myself why you're behaving that way. I ask myself why not. I ask myself why not. I'd look at what you have been through and are going through, and I actually think I would do the same damn thing you're doing. I really do. I am so sorry that you have been through what you've been through and are going through what you are going through. I don't even know how to tell you. You say nobody listens to you, nobody gets it, nobody understands. Look me in the eye. I do. You are screaming for help so loud, you are so frustrated, you don't even know what to do. And I want to look at some tape here.
Get out of my face! Get out of my face! Why are you doing that?
It's your
Let go of me!
Stop. No. Okay, that's fine. Sit right there. Oh my. Hey, David, who wants to possibly...
Okay, rack it back to the top with Dad. Stop. What in the hell are you doing?
I'm just...
Seriously, you want my help. You really do. So
absolutely.
you got to be willing to hear the truth.
Absolutely.
You know you have someone here that is volatile. You know you have someone here that has a difficult time with authority, has a difficult time with confrontation, has a difficult time with modulating her anger. And so you want to get up in her face and say, what are you doing? What do you expect her to do? You couldn't provoke her anymore if you put her in a cage and poked her with a stick. What the hell are you doing here?
I'm just trying to get her attention.
Oh, you got it.
I did.
You can't tell me that you don't realize this is going to bring about a confrontation that is explosive.
I know it is.
And let me ask you something. There's a point during that tape where you're talking to her and you're in her face and then you slide around to the side and you whisper in her ear. What are you saying in her ear?
I'm not going to win this. Who do you think you are?
I tell her I love her sometimes.
That's not what you told me that day.
Sometimes I try to shock her with something to...
Get a reaction out of me? Yeah, you sure did.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Because I did not tell him that I sent this video. Because I just kept it a secret because I'm thinking, this is what's happening. He gets in her face. He doesn't even realize it.
So you scream at her, and then you slide around to the side and whisper in her ear. Are you trying to make her insane? No. That's called double bind. That's a message where you say, get back, come here. Get back, come here. Get back, come here. That's a prelude to schizophrenia. That's what the message you give a child that confuses them. It says, get away, come here, get away, come here, get away, come here. They don't know. It's what's called a schizophrenogenic parent. It's very confusing. And then we say, we don't know why she's acting this way.
I don't have the answers, Dr. Phil.
Because you can't make sense out of nonsense. And later...
I hate myself so much. There are times where I just want to die. But if I would ever kill myself, I know my family would be so hurt. So that's why I just hurt myself. So they wouldn't have to pay for a funeral.
Tomorrow, on an all-new Dr. Phil. She claims her mother-in-law...
You were trying to run her off. You've got no trespassing signs.
She got a restraining order against me after she took one out against me.
...is really a monster-in-law.
Weren't y'all chasing each other around the truck? Didn't you clothesline her?
No.
So you happened to have your arm out and she ran into it.
I did.
Whose side will he take?
Where would you like your chair?
Can I sit next to you?
Hell no.
That's tomorrow.
Now, okay, this is Josh, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, okay, you can stop that right there. So now we're going to have a wrestling match. We've got somebody that we know is volatile, violent, and physical, so we're going to engage in a wrestling match. Seriously? And then we say, we don't know why she's acting this way. We don't know why she's acting this way. And then we've got the clip of her in the van and up screaming and yelling in her face in the van. And then...
I don't have the answers, Dr. Phil.
There aren't any. You know why you don't have? Because you can't make sense out of nonsense. That's why you don't have any answers for that. And didn't you tell me in here that at one point you were trying to talk to her and you were chasing her? Okay, you got your wrist slammed in the door.
Yes.
Yeah. This is after you're chasing her.
No.
Yes,
when
she ran out to
Okay.
when she ran out the door and I got my wrist slammed, then she was screaming down the street. I didn't want her to hurt herself, so I followed her, and then we ended up sitting on the curb, and I ended up talking her down and calming her down.
And you were chasing her?
Well, I was following her, yeah.
Was she running?
I don't remember if she was running.
Was she eluding you? Getting away from you? Trying to escape you?
That's what my parents have always told me. They say, Danielle, if you get mad, go on a walk. But then whenever I try to go on a walk, they both follow me, especially my dad. And I tell him, Dad, I need to go on a walk. I need to calm down. And he'll go, get your ass in this house. It's his favorite thing to do is snap at me like I'm a freaking dog.
I don't have to ask you how that makes you feel.
Gets me pissed. I don't like getting treated like one of his little Marines. I'm not a Marine. I'm a girl. I'm a daughter. I am his daughter. And he doesn't have to snap at me like that.
Laura says the scariest moment was when Danielle was angry because she took her cell phone away. Danielle became irate, threw the cell phone against the wall and put a hole through it. When she chased after Danielle, she says Danielle slammed the door on her hand and almost broke it. Why would you chase an 18-year-old?
Because I didn't want her to hurt herself running down the street.
So you chase her into the street?
Well, she was on the sidewalk. We live on a dead end.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I care about my daughter.
Does it seem reasonable that you guys are engaging in this kind of physical antics here?
At that point, right there.
So you're here to defend this?
No.
You're not here to change this.
No,
you're
I'm
here
definitely
to defend
here to
this.
change this.
You're parenting correctly. You're here to defend it.
I'm not here to defend it.
Then what are you doing right now?
I'm trying to tell you. When that happened, it was at the very beginning of her massive downward spiral.
No, it wasn't.
When she was 18?
No, it wasn't. This massive downward spiral started a long time before that. And it wasn't your fault. And it wasn't your fault. This started a long time ago. You guys have just been trying to manage it and you didn't know how to do it.
That's true. Very true.
This isn't about placing blame. It's about figuring out responsibility and what to do.
Absolutely.
You are a loving and caring mother. I'm not trying to say you're not. This started a long time ago. You just got in over your head really fast.
Started when she was 7.
It started to show itself at 7. It started even before that.
Yeah. I would agree.
Is there something deeper going on here with Danielle? You damn right there is. And It's multifaceted. One element of it is so traumatic, she just cannot get past it, and I wouldn't be able to either. We're going to talk about that next, because it's time. It's this girl's turn. It's time for her to have a voice. We'll be right back.
I took my phone and I started bashing my head, and I broke the screen and I snapped it in half, and I tried getting the pieces and I tried cutting my legs up.
And later, what if this is the day that you can find your way back?
I hate myself, Dr. Phil. I hate myself.
You're just a loser, Paul.
You're the failure of a parent. You're the failure of a parent.
Why are you dating a 14-year-old child? That's a fourth-degree felony.
You have no job. You are living in the car.
I have 2 vehicles.
Does the other one have a windshield?
My stepdad is guilty of molesting me and my sisters.
You know what you did.
I didn't do what you said I did.
Oh, yes, you did.
Your daughter's 14. You say, I'm giving her dope because all kids smoke dope anyway.
You have messed her up.
You just want to turn it into I'm the bad guy.
You are providing your child with alcohol, allowing her to have sex. You are committing a crime.
Plus, a woman he's never met.
My fiancée, Kimberly, is a truly awesome woman.
She's currently stuck in Amsterdam.
And she needed money to get home.
An act of betrayal.
You didn't send Kim any money?
No, I didn't.
You scammed me out of $200,000, and if I could find you, I'd kill you.
A shocking revelation.
She's not in Amsterdam. She's here. Come on out. I'm back with David and Laura and their daughter, Danielle, and Caroline, who actually wrote in. And I hope the day comes when you thank her very much for reaching out and getting you this help. Something horrific happened to you when you were 19.
Yeah.
May I have your permission to talk about that?
I give you permission?
Okay, because I wouldn't violate your privacy without...
No, it's totally okay.
Okay,
We're here for everything.
You understand why I asked. I wouldn't just
Yes,
do that.
I understand.
Let's take a look at this.
I don't trust men. Part of the reason is when I was 19, I was raped by 2 men. I was passed out. They tagged my body. They wrote with Sharpie their names all over me, and all I remember is saying no and crying. I never really got help for it. I reported it to the police. My father went with me, and then they told me, sorry, we can't help you. Not in our district. Get help elsewhere. After they had already had me explain all the nasty that had happened to me in front of my dad. Once they said that to me, I took my phone and I started bashing my head, and I broke the screen and I snapped it in half, and I tried getting the pieces and I tried cutting my legs up. I lose myself. I get lost in myself.
On behalf of the adult generation, the mental health profession, law enforcement, if nobody has apologized to you for the manner in which this was mishandled and the manner in which it wasn't handled afterwards, let me just say on behalf of everybody involved, I'm really sorry this happened this way. I'm sorry it happened to you. I'm sorry it was handled the way it was handled after it did. And I'm sorry the right steps haven't been taken since it did happen, but that's going to change today. But I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay? That's just terrible. That's just terrible. And there's one thing you won't hear me say today, and that's I know how you feel. Because if you haven't been through what you've been through, to be violated in that way, to have your your body violated, have them write on you and file you in that way, and then to be made to recount that in front of your father. I'm sorry you had to hear all of that. I know you wanted to kill somebody when that happened, but to have to do that and you sit there and hear that, and then they say, oh, well, not our district, can't help you. Goodbye. It just, what the hell? I mean, seriously, what the hell is going on? And then so you're left to deal with that. And while I can't tell you that I know how you feel, I can tell you that I have talked to many, many survivors of rape, sexual assault, and abuse. And I know that one of the reactions is a sense of helplessness and powerlessness and rage and devaluation, that they tend to begin to self-medicate to kill the pain. There's a high incidence of cutting and the things that you're doing, of high incidence of beginning to take high-risk behaviors because there's a devaluation, like I don't care what happens to me. At this point, a tendency to define themselves as, well, this is just what I'm worth. It's just I've been violated and I'll never be okay again. It leaves a gaping, horrible wound. And for you, that's never been attended to. It's never been healed. It's never even been acknowledged. And when I see you raging and I see you reacting to authority and to men and this kind of snap here and a Marine-type father, you're paying for the sins of others. It's not that you're an evil guy, you're paying for the sins of others. And it's just, I'm sorry. Do you hear me? You deserve better than that. And when I said I don't ask myself why you're behaving this way, I ask myself why not.
There were two men, and I wasn't able to protect myself. They wrote on me with Sharpie, and I just remember looking at myself in the mirror and feeling, did I do this to myself?
You can think about that for 10 seconds and you're right back there, aren't you?
I have nightmares about it sometimes. And it sucks because I feel helpless and I feel like I can't move. And I've taken so many years of martial arts just to feel helpless. I've taken years. I've taken Taekwondo, I've taken karate, I've taken Kung Fu. And I still wasn't able to protect myself in that situation, and it breaks my heart because I couldn't even do anything. They were too strong. At the same time, there were two men, and they tagged my body everywhere. They tagged everything. They wrote on me with Sharpie. They wrote their names. And I just remember waking up and looking at myself in the mirror and feeling, did I do this to myself? And thinking, how did I let this happen? How am I going to tell my dad? How am I going to tell my boyfriend? Did I just cheat on my boyfriend? Is this my fault because I came? Is it my fault because I drank? Is it my fault because I trusted somebody and I don't trust anyone anymore? And it sucks because I want to. I want to so bad. But at the same time, I don't. I hate everybody. I hate myself. There are times where I just want to die. There are times where I just want to stop breathing. Times where I just want to kill myself. But I said if I would ever kill myself, I know my family would be so hurt. So that's why I just hurt myself. So they wouldn't have to pay for a funeral. I hate men. That's one of the reasons I became a dancer, so I can manipulate them and use them and take their money. I hate them. And it sucks because I don't want to hate my dad. And I don't want to hate Josh. And I want to be able to have friends. But I can't trust anybody anymore. I can't even trust myself.
When we started this conversation, I said, what if this is the day that you can find your way back? This is the day that you can find your way back to you, that you can find your way back to trusting and being part of your family with your mother and your father and trusting and loving yourself.
I hate myself, Dr. Phil. I hate myself. I hate myself so much. That's one of the reasons I do drink, is because I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. I'd rather get away. I'd rather run away from the pain or the anger or the sadness. I'd rather run away. And I even taught myself sometimes to just completely block it out of my head. And that coping skill has got me nowhere.
You're somewhere very different right now than you thought you'd be when you got here, though, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I have a plan. You want to hear it?
I do.
So where does this lovely young girl go from here? Where does this young woman go? Where does this family go? I want to tell them with great specificity after break.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, she claims her mother-in-law...
You were trying to run her off. You've got no trespassing signs.
She got a restraining order against me. After she took one out against me.
...is really a monster-in-law.
Weren't y'all chasing each other around the truck? Didn't you clothesline her?
No.
So you happened to have your arm out and she ran into her.
I did.
Whose side will he take?
Where would you like your chair?
Can I sit next to you?
Hell no.
That's tomorrow.
I'm talking to 21-year-old Danielle, who has been arrested twice, drinks and smokes marijuana while driving, and beats up anyone who makes her mad. She's been stopped by the police 6 or 8 times in addition to being arrested. She says she's been diagnosed with ADHD, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and told she is OCD. Danielle says all she wants is to be treated like a normal person, even though she admits she certainly doesn't act like one.
Ever since I was a child, I feel like I've been treated differently because of the medications I've had to take, the therapy sessions I've had to go to.
When Danielle was about 7 years old, the doctor said that she believed Danielle was bipolar, had anger disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder, and prescribed us with a medication.
I've taken Danielle to a psychiatrist. Recently, the psychiatrist believes she may have dual personality disorder.
I really don't want to go to therapy. Straight up, I don't believe that they could help. I'm tired of therapists saying, but how do you feel? I don't know what I feel, bitch, so I can't tell you how I feel.
They put you on Ritalin when you were 7.
And so loft.
And yeah, I'm getting to that. It's an interesting study, a very longitudinal study that's just come out that people that are put on Ritalin before the age of 23 have a very toxic reaction brain-wise compared to people that are put on it after 23, because the brain is still developing before 23. And this is a major, major finding that is going to impact the treatment of ADD and ADHD, and it can create what is known as an iatrogenic illness. And an iatrogenic illness is an illness that is made worse the results of the adverse effects of diagnostic and treatment process, which means it's made worse by the treatment. You have something wrong, and the treatment makes what's wrong worse than it was before you treated it. And so the fact that you haven't gotten better across time, you say that you're hearing voices at age 7, and so they treat you for ADHD?
They always told me I just had an overactive imagination.
Well, seriously? You're hearing voices and they treat you for ADHD? Where'd they get their degree at Sears? That doesn't even almost make sense. And that doesn't mean that you're psychotic by any stretch. I'm not saying that. But I don't know what is going on. But we need to find out. I think you're very intelligent. I think you have found ways to survive. You're still here. Through everything you've been through, at 21, you're still here. Before appearing on the show, we ask every guest what question they have for me. Danielle's question was, how is Dr. Phil different from everyone else I've seen in the past? Well, hopefully I can show her the answer to that question when we come back.
The #1 show in daytime is taping now. All we need is you.
You're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show? Call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445 or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. I'm back talking to Danielle and 3 people here that care a lot about her in spite of her conduct. And I said something you didn't expect to hear today, which was that I'm on your side. I get it. I said, I don't judge your behavior. I don't ask myself why you're doing what you're doing. I ask myself, why not? I would do that and more. Hell, I totally get it. What I want you to do is not feel like you need to do that and have different ways to express yourself. And part of this is a matter of some bad parenting. You do the best you know how to do at the time, right?
Absolutely.
And you're a Marine and a very successful Marine. And by the way, thank you for your service. Twice and for 28 years. Seriously, thank you for your service. Being a Marine is not a job, it's a way of life. And sometimes it's hard to separate the Corps from the family. True. And you just are who you are, and you've taken what works there home, and it doesn't work at home. Even almost. But you've done what you know how to do, and the fact is that you're a very loving father. You have to give him credit. He's on Dr. Phil. This is Dad's on Dr. Phil. It's the last place he wants to be.
Same.
But he is here, and you need to learn some new ways to do this. And you're very bright and worldly guy, and I have no doubt that you can do that. You are a wounded soul. You can't continue to experience this helplessness and this rage. There is very specialized treatment available for survivors of rape and sexual assault. It's not your average on-the-corner psychologist. There are people that specialize in this. It's a very unique, specialized treatment, and you will be astonished astounded at how it can change the way you feel about you and how you can feel about trusting yourself and how you can heal from the pain that you feel. This is T.J. Howard right here, and T.J. Howard is the Director of Operations for Origins Behavioral Healthcare, and they're located on South Padre Island. It is a very sophisticated, gender-specific, age-specific treatment program for men and women that is what's called a dual diagnosis treatment center. If you've been self-medicating, they deal with that, but they deal with all of the other things also, and they will deal with the very specialized care that you need as a survivor of what you've been through with the rape and sexual assault. And this is something that I want you to call time out. I want you to put yourself in the shop. You don't have to do it. I want you to do it, and I want you to stay there until you get it right, but it's totally up to you. You can leave anytime you want. You don't have to go if you don't want to, and you have problems with trust. But I'm asking you to trust me to let us evaluate and give you some answers that you need. Will you do that for me?
I can do it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And also, we want to make sure you don't get misinformation to your medical questions. Next up, answers to important health questions from you. Stay right here. Well, we're coming to my favorite segment. It's time to Ask the Doctors with my very good friend, Dr. Frida Lewis Hall, Pfizer's Chief Medical Officer. So welcome. Let's just jump right in, okay? Our first question is from Jessica about her young son. So, hi, Jessica. What is your question?
My son just started kindergarten, and I'm so afraid he's going to come home with the flu or some other health issue. What can I do to protect him and not worry myself sick?
Well, I get that. I remember when our sons, Jay and Jordan, started school, Robin and I had the same worries because these kids are like little Petri dishes, right? What advice do you have for Jessica and other parents?
Well, first of all, let me say, Jessica, I understand as a mother, but as a doctor, I knew that I had a way to help protect my children, and that was to make sure that they were receiving their immunizations. So getting their vaccinations was very important. So, Jessica, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommend an immunization schedule for children that includes protection for up to 14 diseases. And they include measles and whooping cough.
Right.
Now, I mentioned those two because there was a time that we thought that whooping cough and measles was largely under control, but they're really resurfacing now as a result of lack of vaccinations. So the CDC also recommends that everyone 6 months of age and older receive a seasonal flu shot.
That young, 6 months or older, okay.
So it's important to think about vaccinations as a base. And then there are a whole list of other things. The first thing is, I guess, what our mothers told us, which is wash your hands often with soap and water. And if a sink isn't available and they can't do that, they can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer as directed.
Do these things work that are on the wall?
The things that are on the wall,
okay.
You can...
Those do help.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so you want to teach your son, you know, how to do that when you're not watching or telling, right? So make sure that he knows that. Also make sure he knows how to avoid contact with people who might be sick, like what to share and what not to share, how to know when people might be ill, because that's important. You want to make sure that if he's sick, you're keeping him home so that he's not endangering others, so you want to protect others as well. And also, just kind of some simple things with cough and cold. So if you're coughing, cover your mouth with a tissue in it. And if you don't have one, use that elbow, right, the inside of your elbow, to protect yourself and to others. And this one is really hard because it's a habit most people don't realize, and that is help teach your son how to keep his hands out of his eyes, his nose, and his mouth, because that's one of the ways that those germs get inside.
That is good advice for parents and children, because usually when a child brings something home, the first people to get sick are us. So, Jessica, thank you for your question. Now, next, we have a video from Wade here in Los Angeles. Let's see his question.
Hi, doctors. My name is Wade, and I have a question. My job requires me to work long hours and late nights. So what I want to know is, how do I find balance, and can working like that affect my health?
Oh, man, I'm feeling a little crowded on this one. I think this is a common question for many people, me included. So, Dr. Frieda, can you give us the latest on how working long hours does affect health? I mean, we know it's not good, but give us the scoop.
Well, you know, it's interesting. We're hearing this question more and more as people are pushed to work longer and harder. So as more people are doing that, this question is coming up. And we know now from studies that lack of sleep, for example, does put you at risk for long-term health consequences. And that includes things like diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, and heart disease, as well as depression, anxiety, and mental distress. A recent study in the European Heart Journal indicates that people who work 55 hours or more a week may be at greater risk for developing atrial fibrillation. Now, that's an irregular heart rhythm that's linked to stroke and other health problems. And that's compared to people who work 40 hours or less a week. So just the long hours themselves can really be a problem.
Yeah. Does Robin have her arms crossed, and is she looking at me like this? Out there? Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. All right. Now, there are specific strategies to balance work and the rest of your life before it affects your health. And I want to talk about these just in terms of life management. First, talk to your manager. Are the long hours really needed? And could you strike a balance between maybe being at work and sometimes working at home, and improve the quality of the sleep that you get? And by that I mean remove distractions from your bedroom, like TVs, cell phones, computers, because these inhibit sleep. And regular exercise and healthy diet really do improve the quality of your sleep. Relaxation techniques such as meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises may improve both the quality of your waking hours and the quality of your sleep. So just those simple things can add up and aggregate to make a big difference. So Wade, thank you for your great question. And remember, your health always comes first. For more information on these topics and a whole lot more, everyone must check out your website, gethealthystayhealthy.com.
Absolutely. And while you're there, you can sign up for our newsletter, and that way you can get answers to your everyday health questions come to you.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that newsletter, it is really informative. This is a great website. Okay, I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Dr. Frieda Lewis Hall. It is so good for you to come.
I love being here.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much.